So we're going to talk about lead gen this morning. What kind of things I know, Brittany, we talked yesterday about calling, calling the database, but what other kinds of lead gen are you all thinking about?
Texting, handwritten letters. Yesterday I was printing my buyer's consultation packet at FedEx, and I gave my business card to the man who helped me print.
Nice.
So that was good.
Yeah,
So,
how'd that feel?
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So makes it easier for next time.
It does make it easier. Yeah, that's fantastic. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay, so hey Markia.
Hello, good morning.
Hey.
Hey Lakira, nice to see you here.
Thank you, you also.
Okay. I think Markia left to go into Bill's room because she's not a new agent. So anyway, so we're going to talk about lead gen this morning. So have you
wait, is there a room for new agents and a room for not new agents?
so you can go to either, but typically I'm the launch coach, so I work with agents who have 0 to 3 transactions, maybe newer agents, or some that just haven't been working for a while. And Bill tends to do the one that's more geared toward people who have 4 or more transactions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I probably need to go into Bill's room.
Oh yeah, that's fine. So go right ahead, because we talk about basic things here, which is what we need to do.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Rose and Brittany, it's gonna be us this morning, I think. Maybe Lakira will stay, I don't know. But have you identified some different ways to do lead gen? And Brittany, you just said texting and emailing, but as far as a concentrated effort, like 2 hours a day, have you identified anything?
Probably like 3 hours a day recently, this week especially, but like just because it's my summer break from school, like I've been working about 3 or 4 hours this week.
Excellent. Okay. You mean a day?
Yeah, 3 or 4 hours a day this week.
Yeah.
I
Rose,
would to do 2 either first thing in the morning or it's more towards the afternoon, just depending on my schedule.
Okay.
One thing that I was doing a few months ago, and then I just kind of stopped, that I want to get back into, which I thought was good, was I would go and look at all of the agents or like from our office that have open houses or have listings that don't have an open house, and I would reach out to them to offer to do an open house for them. But I know like isn't our open houses even kind of a thing right now with the market being so crazy?
Oh, open houses are good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get back into trying to do.
Yeah. There were years when we would have open houses and we just wouldn't have anybody show up because homes sat on the market for a lot longer. But now yes, people are attending open houses. But the key with open houses, so I wanted to talk about some different lead gen strategies. Open houses is one of the very best for newer agents because you can parlay off of another agent's listing and pick up buyers at an open house. The key is that you want to have notice of the open house at least a week in advance so you have time to advertise it, right? You want to make sure that you have flyers, and sometimes the agent provides those. I know when I always provide flyers when somebody does an open house for me. So want to make sure you have flyers. You want to make sure you have the seller's property disclosure, the community association disclosure, if any. This is one of those places where before you go to the open house, and this is a habit I'd like for you to get into. It'll serve you well if you get into this habit of just becoming the expert of studying the neighborhood, studying. You can Google the neighborhood a lot of times. You can find on the different agents' websites information about the neighborhood. And if the neighborhood isn't listed anywhere, it's a smaller neighborhood or so, just find out about the community, like what's close to it. So when you're doing the open house, you have some talking points like, hey, 2 miles away is a Starbucks, 2.5 miles away is Lake Sneed Elementary, and your kids can walk to school, or whatever it is that you find out about the community. Make yourself a cheat sheet so that you can have talking points during the open house. The other thing about open house that we've talked about is you want to door knock around the open house. And what I like to do when I do mine is I like to go either the day before or the morning of the open house, and I'll stop by all the neighbors and I'll say, hey, we're having an open house today, but we're having a private neighbors only event from 12 to 1 before the public comes in. So we'd love for you to come. Makes them feel special. Even if you're not buying a house, thinking of selling your home, or even if you don't know anybody who's selling a home, come over and get a feel for what this home is, and in case you run into anybody, and just check it out. And I'd love to talk with you. And then when they come over, you want to make sure you have something of value for them, like, hey, would you like me to set you up so that you're the first to know who in this neighborhood is selling and what prices are and what's closing and that kind of thing. And then you set them up on FMLS like I showed you the other day on an auto email. Other lead gen ideas, you can call off Vulcan. I like to call, when I call expireds, I call expireds that are at least 6 months to a year old. You have to check and see if they haven't been relisted and sold, but you can, typically if you're Googling a certain neighborhood, you'll see that information. I found one yesterday when I was doing a CMA for somebody that I'm going to list her home, that there's an expired home. It's for him, I'm sorry. There's an expired home, and it didn't, they pulled it off the market to do some renovations, and it never got listed again. So what you don't know is, did Open Door, and this is the thing that's difficult, is I don't know if Open Door bought it, if they did a deal with Open Door, but I'll go into tax records today to find out when it was sold, and that will tell me who owns it. And if somebody if somebody did not sell it, I will reach out to them and offer my assistance. If you cannot find their number, just send them a handwritten note. That works. Lead gen, like Brittany did yesterday when she took her buyer presentation to get printed at FedEx, and just struck up a conversation with somebody at FedEx and was able to give him a business card. Last night, I went to pick up a little bit of Chinese, and the owner, because my sister goes there all the time, she knows the owner, and she said he wants to retire. He's been working for 40 years. They want to sell their home. They want to buy a place with land and build it so they can have a garden. And turns out he's got a ton of money. So he's looking at properties over $1 million. So I stopped in yesterday, and I'm going to have to find somebody who speaks Chinese better than I do, because we have a tenuous understanding of each other. But I'll partner with somebody on that. And then he wants to sell his business too. So I'll hook him up with a business broker and have a referral from that as well. And that's the guy that you order Chinese from. Isn't that amazing, right?
That's awesome.
I was like, so the property behind my sister is 1.6 million. He was like, no problem, I cash buyer. I was like, okay. I need to open a Chinese restaurant, I guess. But so just talking to people out can definitely lead to things. Also, your friends and family. That was my sister's doing. She's the one who said you should talk to my sister. And then I made a point of stopping in for Chinese, whether I wanted it or not. But excuse me. But have your friends and family, if you can't be everywhere at all times. So if your friends and family are talking to people and real estate comes up, they can say, oh, I know, Rose, I know Brittany, you should talk to them. So that's another lead gen that you can, that's kind of a passive lead gen that I love, absolutely love that. Let's see what else. You can write, I'm doing the letters. We've heard in our team meetings that the letters are really good right now. Sending out the golden letters. There's several examples of them. The last team meeting, I think John talked about that the more specific you can be, the better. So if you want to team up with an agent who has a buyer and say, I'd love to write some letters, and may I say that we're working with a buyer, or we're working with the buyer and this is what they're looking for. So team up with an agent, or you can write a more generic letter that says, we know that there are more buyers for homes, and would you be interested in selling your home? And I actually, of the letters I sent last month, I teamed up with a young girl who's home from college, and she's writing the letters for me, or she's actually writing the letter, and then she gets it duplicated, and then she writes in Dear Jamie and Sue, and she hand addresses the envelope. And I, as an incentive to her, I offered her to have $100 for every listing that we take that closes. So I did get one response from the letter, and it was from an agent that I mentored years ago when I was on site. She was like, Candace, I just listed this house and they gave me this letter and they asked me if it was legit. She said, I said, Candace story. Yeah, it's legit. She said, so I wanted to call and see if your buyers are interested. And I said, well, the whole reason I'm writing the letters is because my buyers don't want to be in a multiple bid situation. And that she told me she had an offer already just from listing it. And I said, they probably aren't going to want to see it, but I'll make sure they know about it. So anyway, we're going to have coffee in a couple of weeks, and who knows, maybe she'll join Keller Williams. She's over with a small boutique agency now, but that was nice. So I haven't gotten any traction off that, but I know other people are getting traction. So this is the first month I'm doing it, and it cost all total about $200, 130. So I bought 250 stamps, and that was $132. And then I paid $20 to have the letters duplicated. I gave Lauren $20 to have the letters duplicated, and I gave her $10 to get the little sponge things that you can wet the envelopes with so she doesn't have to lick them. And then I'm giving her $50 because she did 5 hours of work. So $180. And if I get a listing out of it, we sent out about 200 letters. Maybe 175 letters. So that's another lead gen. You can hold events. You can do a Zoom. You can do a Zoom partner with a lender and do a Zoom home buyer seminar, or specialize in veterans and do a veterans home buyer seminar. And then you'd have the lender talking about VA loans. And you can be the facilitator. This is something that I learned. There's a gentleman called Pete Vargas. Are you familiar with him? So Pete Vargas he's like a Tony Robbins or a Dean Graziosi, but in a different way. And he wanted to be somebody who did these kind of presentations and became a speaker, but he didn't know much about anything. So what he decided to do was to become a reporter, in quotes. So what he would do is he would have different experts on his podcast. And now he has he did a whole big thing a couple of years ago called Rise Up World. And every single day for, I don't know, 30 days, he had a different expert on talking about some subject. And it was all designed for people who are in business for themselves. And so you can actually do videos of, we've talked about this business to business, but you could actually partner with your lender, partner with an inspector, and say, here are some common things that people should know to keep track of in their home. So when you get ready to sell, you don't have such a big laundry list of things to do. You could partner with a stager, talking about staging. You could, anybody who's related to the home industry, you could partner with them and do either a live video on Facebook, a Zoom video, where you send out invitations and say, hey, I'm hosting this event if you want to learn more about staging your home, or more about curb appeal, or more about buying a home as a veteran. And you can target those ads as well. So that would be another lead gen strategy. Any questions so far? I always like it when you all talk more than I do. So that's another lead gen strategy. What else can you do? You can, so if you partner, like if you go to larger companies, like for instance, I contacted ADP, and ADP has a set of realtors that they work with, but you can become one of those realtors. So, and they every year, they had a home, they had a real estate seminar. So I know I saw Roxy Hernandez there sometimes when I was working there. And they could actually, you get a table around the lunchroom. They have a big cafeteria, and around the lunchroom, you could get tables. You buy a table for $25, and you can set up all your collateral, all your material, and talk to people as they came through and give them material. And you also, a lot of times what I saw is that they would have a drawing to give away a gift at each table. The smart realtors did this. They would have a drawing to give away a gift, so the person had to put in their business card, or they either had to do a sign-up sheet in order to be registered for the giveaway. So that's how they collected information, and then they can follow back up with it. So if you reach out, I know Lindbergh Parkway has a ton of technology companies and larger companies. So if you reach out to those companies, many times you can be involved, or you could offer to put something like that on. And a lot of times you partner up with an admin, an executive assistant to put that kind of an event on. So they're doing some of the work and you're doing some of the work. But they're always trying to find ways to keep their employees engaged and provide value to their employees. And that's one of the ways. And then if you talk to the relocation company for that company, you can also, in some cases, build a relationship and be an agent that they will recommend. So I'm trying to think, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can lead gen. We talked about calling the expireds that are a little bit older, because what happens, you may or may not know, but what happens when a home is newly expired, it's like a shark feeding frenzy. They get phone calls like every 2 minutes from realtors buying for that business. And so, and there are I know a realtor who earns about $400,000 a year, and that's what he does. He calls expireds and he calls for sale by owners, and he's doing quite well. He's got the chops for it, and he's not intimidated when somebody yells at him. He's like, okay, next. He's just doesn't let anything faze him. And so you can do the new expireds and the new FSBOs. If you're going to do expireds, if you're going to do FSBOs, I like to have, and I've shared it before and I'll share it again, my listing presentation has 2 pages in it that I think are extremely powerful for sale by owners, and a lot of other people like them too, and I've never had anybody use them. But one is the flexible fee structure. So I'll say, for full service, my marketing efforts bring the buyer 6%. Full service, you bring the buyer 5%. And what that does is, for sale by owners have this sense of, I want to sell my own home. So that gives them a chance to partner with me. Again, I've never had anybody do anything other than 6%, but it makes them feel like they're in control. And the other thing is that I have is an easy exit listing. Not good. I've never had anybody use that either. And that just says that if for some reason we're not a good fit, if you give me writing and if you give me a written notice, you can cancel at any time within 30 days. So that means 30 days written notice. So that still gives me 30 days to try and sell the home after they've decided. And then again, knock on wood, I've never had anybody use that. But it's a comfort to people who are like, oh, I don't want to be locked into anything. It feels too permanent. So those are 2 things that I use as well with the for sale by owners especially. But I have it in all my listing packet. Let's see what else. You can partner with other agents. And so I know we're going to do a fall festival, which will be where you can bring your clients, bring your potential clients, bring your past clients. We're looking for a location now, the offices. I know years ago when I was with Keller Williams, we had a fall festival, and I had past clients and current clients come to it, and they still remember that. Their kids are grown up now, but their kids remember coming and picking out the pumpkin and carving the pumpkin or drawing on the pumpkin, because we didn't do carving. They drew on the pumpkins, and they had face painters, and they had people that make the balloon animals, and that was fun. But I've also, when I was coaching with Tim and Julie Harris, they put on events. So for instance, they would hook up with a dog rescue place, and they would host a big adopt a dog day and partner with the rescue event, and they would invite everybody in their database. They would advertise it, and they would have their information there. They would be, have a table there meeting people. So you've adopted a dog, now you need a yard kind of thing. So you need to move, that kind of thing. You can volunteering is an excellent way to lead gen because you're with like-minded people, right? I actually met my husband volunteering. I'm an artist, and so I was director of portrait. This is volunteer. It sounds impressive, but it was a volunteer position. Director of exhibitions for the Portrait Society of Atlanta, and we were getting ready to have an exhibit in his gallery. And he called me and said, "Can you come and discuss the details?" And a month later, we were married. So volunteering is another way. And also I did get clients from volunteering. The portrait artist that I wasn't a very great portrait artist, but the portrait artists in that society, they all, they had, just like everybody else, they had needs for moving and buying and selling and that kind of thing. So I did a couple of transactions from volunteering. So that's another, and that's fun because it's something that you want to do. So you can volunteer as well. We've talked about previously going out to local businesses and doing the business to business kind of thing. And so if you're gonna talk to businesses or interview businesses, what you want to do is you want to have a list of questions, and the questions go something like, how did you get started? So what you're going to do is you're going to say, Mr. Business Owner, or Mrs. Business Owner, I'd love to feature you in my social media this week. And I'd love to do a video, and you can post it on your social media too, and ask all your clients to post it on their social media too. And so you're getting a wide reach, right? But it's serving the community, it's promoting a community-owned business, and business owners love it. So what you go in and you say is, I'd love to do this for you, and here's a list of questions that I'm going to ask you, that once they say yes, here's a list of questions that I'd like to ask you, and let's set up a day when you know that you can turn your attention for 10 minutes to this. And then you just have a friend come over, hold the camera, and you say, hi, I'm Brittany Shaw. I'm here today with Joe Ruggles from Espressos. And Espressos is a local coffee shop. Don't do espressos because there's a new agent that works there and she's going to do it. But Espressos is a coffee shop on Highway 9 in Cumming, Georgia. And oh my goodness, they have a secret on their menu, and I'm going to let Joe tell us about that. But Joe, first, this is Joe Ruggles. Joe, how did you get into business? How did you decide to open up a coffee shop with a menu? And then he talks about that. And you're just like we talked about yesterday, when you ask the questions, you're mostly listening and letting him talk. And then, so what is one of your customers' most favorite things on the menu? And then let him talk. And I've heard some people talking about that ham and cheese, Swiss cheese and egg croissant. Tell me about that. And that's their secret thing that everybody loves. And so what are the best times to come in here? And how do you source where do you get your coffee from? And just whatever questions that are pertinent to the business. And you can ask them also, I've done this in the past, what questions would you like me to ask you that will make you shine? And they'll have an idea about what they'd like to talk about. And then you just ask those facilitating questions. And then when you get the video, you just send it to them. You can edit the video on Canva. If you stuttered or something like that, you can edit the video on Canva, Canva, and it's not hard to do. And then you send it to them and you post it on your social media, Instagram, you post it on Facebook. You want to keep it about 3 minutes or under. 5 minutes is max, because people won't watch anything longer than that.
My boyfriend is a cinematographer and he edits videos for a living. So I guess I kind of have an advantage on that. I should probably do that.
You should probably do that. Will he come take the video for you?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes, that would be fantastic. So then you can say, I have a professional videographer or cinematographer to come in and do this for us. And that's even a bonus plus. It's something that I think as you get going in this, to have somebody professional do the video is a real benefit, to partner up with somebody. And you can also plug the videographer as well in the credits. So you support two businesses at the same time.
You would appreciate that too. So
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if your boyfriend is not, I mean, I told my husband I really need like 5 husbands. I need one just like you that I just love. I need a massage therapist. I need a chiropractor. I need to marry a business operating partner to run my business. And I need to marry somebody who wants to do lead gen all day long. He's like, yeah, you just have me, honey. So, but anyway, yeah, so you can get started with just your cell phone, though. I just want to make sure, in case, don't let that stop you. Any ideas that you all have that you'd like to flesh out a little bit?
I just remembered this as you were talking. I was getting drinks with a friend of mine the other day, and I totally forgot that I live right in downtown Roswell, and there's an apartment complex over here called City Walk.
Uh-huh.
And my friend used to live there, and she was telling me that everyone who lives there is living there. Everyone that she met is because they want to live in Roswell, but they either like can't find a house or they're wanting to buy. So they're just living there until they find something to buy.
Mhm.
So I was thinking about going and getting those like door knob flyer thingies made and putting them on every door in City Walk, and maybe doing like something about what's happening in, I don't know, like a 5-mile radius of the
Yeah,
building.
so, and the other thing, that's an excellent idea, and I forgot apartments. Apartments are an excellent lead gen.
Yeah, I live
Um,
in an apartment right now, so
Yeah, so apartments are excellently, Jen. You can put out bandit signs on the weekend. You can put them out Friday after 5, and then you pick them up Sunday night, or the sign police will pick them up on Monday morning. But you can put out bandit signs saying, "Want to buy renting? Want to buy a house? Call me." That kind of thing. You could do the flyers on the doors. You could put material in the common rooms. I would get that piece of paper from Shelter that shows what the interest rate is and what buying power it gives. It says if the interest rate is 3.5%, you can buy this much house. If it goes up to 4%, you can buy this much less house. And if it goes up to 4.5%, you can buy this much less house. They will co-brand that with you. Just reach out to Alec or Kathy or Tammy. And if you look on Roswell Rock's Facebook group, they post their material there a lot of times. So partner with one of them, and then say, and then your marketing can say something like, "Think you can't buy a home, or having trouble finding a home?" Here, and then that's when you sell your value of, "I will write letters to off-market sellers to try and find you a home. If we know what neighborhood you want to be in, I'll be glad to target that neighborhood." No realtors do that. It's such a bonus. No realtors really do that. So that's it. Excellent. I'm glad you brought that up, Rose. So we've got about 1 minute left. Bold starts in 1 minute. So I'm going to let us get off and get ourselves onto the next Zoom. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. Tomorrow, we're going to work on our buyer presentation command. If you already have a buyer presentation, that's okay. There may be a couple of nuggets in there for you. But in the meantime, have an awesome day.
thank you
Thanks,
so
guys,
much.
for being here. Bye.
Bye.